So in this video, I want to talk about something called the distributive law. Now, when you learn it, you're going to learn what the distributive law is, and you're going to remember that for a little while. But eventually, you're going to forget the name, and you're just going to be able to use it like you can use any other maths. The distributive law is really, really cool. Let me show you a little bit about how it works. Okay, let's do a little bit of maths here to begin with. Okay, so that says 3 times, if there's nothing in between the number and the bracket, that means times, 3 times 4 plus 5 equals, and you need to figure that out. Now, the way that you've all been taught to do it is using something called BOMDAS or BIDMAS, which means that you add the thing in the brackets first, because that's the first thing to do, and then you do your multiplication afterwards. The brackets is the most important. So you do something like 3, 4 plus 5 is 9, and then you do 3 times 9, which is 27. And you would be absolutely correct. That is 100% the correct answer. But there's a second way to do it, and that second way can sometimes be really, really useful. Let me show you how it works, but I'm going to do it by showing you a rectangle. So here's my rectangle. Now my rectangle has a width of 3 and a length, this is the interesting one, a length from here to here of 4 and from here to here of 5. Now you guys know that you can find the area of that by doing length, which is 4 plus 5, which is 9, times 3, which is 27. But there's a different way to do this. What you can do is break it into two separate rectangles and figure out each one of those rectangles separately. So the area of this rectangle is equal to 3 times 4, 3 times 4, and the area of this rectangle is equal to 3 times 5, 3 times 5. Oops. Now that means that the area of this rectangle is 12, the area of this rectangle is 15, which means that the total area of that shape is equal to 27. Two different ways to find the area of this rectangle. One way, 3 times 9, which is what we did here, 3 times 9. The second way, 3 times 4, 3 times 5, 3 times 4, 3 times 5, and then add those two together. So that's how I'm going to do it up here. Three times 4, 3 times 4, plus 3 times 5, 3 times 5. Equals 12 plus 15 equals 27. So now you have two different ways to find the answer. One way, the old way that you're used to, and second way, this way, which you haven't seen before. 3 times 4 plus 5 is the same as 3 times 4 plus 3 times 5 equals 27. Now you're asking yourself, why? Why would I use this method, which looks way more complicated and way more difficult, when I could do this method, which is really, really simple? And the answer to that is algebra. Sometimes you can't use this method, and this method will be better. Let's take a look at an example of that. So here we have a question. Expand, that means get rid of the brackets, 3 times x plus 7. Now, a lot of us would want to go to our first method here. 4 plus 5 is 9. Now, if we try that here, x plus 7, they don't work. You can't add x plus 7 because they're not like terms. And you guys know that you can't add like terms. So we can't do this bit. We can't do the bit where we add those two bits together. So we're stuck. Unless we use this. That's our distributive law. And if we do that, we can expand our brackets. Let's try it. 3 times x. plus 3 times 7. Now we've gotten rid of our brackets. 3 times x can just be written as 3x. That's our short way to do it. We don't need to put the times in the middle. Plus 3 times 7, which is 21. Now we've got this fantastic thing where we've expanded our brackets, we've gotten rid of them. When we couldn't use this method, we couldn't use our BOMDAS, we had to use this method, the distributive law. I'm going to do one more here just so you can see like a slight variation on this. Now again, you can see x's everywhere. 2x times x minus 4. But we can still use our distributive law. 2x times x. So x times x is x squared. 2x squared. Let's just write that in first. 2x times x. And then be careful with this next bit. 2x times negative 4. Times negative 4. So 2x times x is x squared, so that's 2x squared, plus 2x times minus 4. Now a positive times a negative is going to be a negative. Negative 2 times 4 is 8x. So you can see here we've expanded our brackets. We've gotten rid of our brackets, which was the whole goal here, and we did it using something called the distributive law. Drawing these little lines here will help you out. 3 times x, 3 times 7. Eventually you'll be able to skip this step and you'll be able to do something really fast. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times negative 9 is negative 27. Finished. You can see the distributive law has these nice little lines here and you get a nice little answer there. Okay, there's the distributive law. Give it a try.